Yo, what's up, guys? Today I got my Juventus cap on, and we're gonna check out just how good was Mario Balotelli, actually. So, with my Juventus cap on, of course, we're not gonna judge Balotelli. Come on, we're not gonna judge Balotelli. He's Italian. He did pretty good when he played for Italy, actually. In the shitty years of Italy, the last decade, he was actually one of the best of the team. So I don't know. He just didn't have the right mentality. He wasn't continuous enough. He wasn't motivated enough. We all heard about these stories about his decadence. I don't know. So let's just check out this video and learn something new.
There are a
Maybe.
lot of controversial footballers. It seems that genius on the pitch seems to attract eccentric behavior. Maybe it's the money. We all have seen at some point in life how it can change people. Maybe it's because to be a great player you need to be eccentric on the pitch, to think outside the box, and that ends up reflecting in a more negative way in real life. If there is one eccentric and extremely controversial player that caught the eye of the football world much more than the rest of them over the last few years, it was surely this one, Mario Balotelli. His talent was undeniable.
That's wrong! It's just one L, not two L's.
Fast, powerful, with impressive technique and an eye for goal. What more could we ask for? Well, that he had his head set on the right goals, or that he was focused while on the pitch, maybe that he wouldn't throw darts at the youth team.
Yeah, I still remember that fucking goal against Germany was unbelievable.
Fire with fireworks, or that he would get his cars impounded less often. I don't want to ask for too much, but 27 times seems a bit too much. You get the point. There's no doubt most of you know well who Balotelli is, but do you know where he came from, or where he is now? And the answer is not Brescia or Nice. He's playing in the second division, but we will get there. Unfortunately, he was born with a life-threatening digestive problem, and his parents, though they tried their hardest, couldn't take care of his medical bills, and by the age of 3, he would be sent into foster care. Soon after, he would be adopted by the Balotelli family. His new parents were pretty well off financially, and that would change his life forever. For a while, he would only spend the weekdays with his new family, taking off the weekends to visit his siblings, but at a certain point, the Balotellis would get his full guard, and he would even change his name, adopting the Balotelli surname. Despite his health complications, Balotelli picked football as his favorite pastime as a child. He joined FC Lumezane at 11 years of age, where he was the only black kid in the squad. By the time he turned 15, he was promoted to the senior squad. He was as much of a prodigy as he could possibly be. At that same age, he got a trial at FC Barcelona and failed, unfortunately, but the next year, Inter Milan would see him and take on the opportunity. Balotelli would dazzle on his debut, scoring 2 as Inter faced Sheffield in a memorial match. Then he would have...
Yeah, I think I remember the first goals that he made on Inter was like only 17. It's really good,
debut
actually.
in Serie A, but only get 1 minute on the pitch, though 3 days after he played again, this time against Regina in the Coppa Italia, and got another brace. The second leg against Regina didn't go so well, and he didn't manage to get on the score sheet, but in the next round, he would be deployed against Juventus, and he would score yet another brace to get a 3-2 win.
I do remember that.
Over the rest of the season, he would start getting some playing time here and there, getting 3 more goals. The next season, he would play the first match against Roma in the Supercoppa, and as Inter were tied 1-1, he came in for Luis Figo and got the goal. Though they'd still be forced onto penalties, with Balotelli also coming clutch and scoring as Inter went on to win. By November, he had become the youngest ever player to score in the Champions League. Other highlights of the season would come as he scored 2 against Roma, as Inter were, you guessed it, 2 goals down. And he also opened the score sheet in a 1-goal draw against Juventus, a match that would be notorious for the Juve fans relentlessly racially abusing him throughout the match. At this point,
that's something disgusting. I don't know why. Oh my god, there's so many fucking racist people in Italy. I don't know about other parts of Europe, but in Italy, something so fucking... I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know why my country makes me feel ashamed to be Italian to all those fucking racist people.
everyone thought this kid was bound to win a Ballon d'Or or 2. He was 18 and
Ew.
everyone knew about him already, but the next season, the problem
Adriano.
by January.
We should react to Adriano as well. You know, I hate Inter with all my heart, but they had really good players. Adriano was like, was a fucking beast. They called him the Emperor. It was so fucking good. And then, I don't know, just had a fucking involution. Unbelievable. I don't know. Most of the Inter players, they will be so good and then just get an involution. I don't know why.
January, Mourinho was forced to ban him from playing for half a month, claiming a young man like him can't be training less than older players like Figo or Zanetti. One other thing about the season that should also be
it was
noted
so
is
fucking
that the
cold
Juve
when he
fans
shoot
hated him,
penalties.
to the point that racist chants about the kid were heard even when they weren't playing against Inter. It got so bad Juve had to play
Rubin
with
Kazan.
closed doors. Despite Inter's success, this only got worse and worse, and by the next season, Mourinho would have countless stories to tell about how ridiculous Balotelli's behavior was. One of them would actually become quite notorious. Mourinho told that in a match against Rubin Kazan, Balotelli got a yellow card in the first half, so Mourinho, scared he would be sent off, spent 14 of the last 15 minutes telling him, "Mario, I beg you, please don't do anything, don't touch the opponents, don't talk to them, don't even breathe next to them." A few minutes into the second half, Balotelli was sent off. You really couldn't make this up. By the end of the season, Balotelli was also being criticized by everyone else, even his own teammates, and then came the last straw. Balotelli went on live TV wearing an AC Milan jersey with his name on it. Probably time to send him away, right? Except Mourinho still gave him another shot. But then he threw his shirt on the ground after a match against Barcelona and the fans literally tried to attack him. And after something like that, there's nothing you could possibly do. And so, he was on a move for the first time ever, even though Inter would go on to win the treble. Mourinho is really not to be blamed here. Even Balotelli says he is a great coach and has no hard feelings towards him. His next club would be Manchester City, joining his former coach Roberto Mancini for a fee of 22 million euros, which goes to show that people still believed he could make it despite his behavior. But the start...
Yeah, the team that wasted the most money on Balotelli was Liverpool. Didn't they pay him like 45 or 50 millions? That's crazy. And he just didn't do anything when he was there.
Be awful. First game
But
for
Manchester
the club,
City was pretty
tore
good.
his meniscus and needs surgery, only coming back 2 months later. Once he came back, he did good though. 2 goals in 60 minutes against West Bromwich despite carrying a red card, a hat-trick against Aston Villa in the same week he won the Golden Boy Award, but once the second half of the season started, he slowed down and only got 2 more goals. As you might imagine, his antics hadn't just stopped. Over this last season, a video of him struggling to put on a training bib went viral. It was caught.
I remember that. I do remember
At the
that.
beginning of the next season, in a friendly match against LA Galaxy, he would get another of his iconic moments. It would be through on goal with just the keeper to beat, and instead of scoring, he would try to do
I
a
do
left
remember
into the
that.
goal and completely miss. Mancini wasn't happy, and he came off immediately. When the official matches started, he wasn't doing so well, but a few matches
Gero, ¿qué haces, boludo? ¿Qué estás haciendo, boludo? What are you doing?
in, he hits top form, and Jesus Christ did he do well.
I love Aguero.
Despite mostly not
He even has a YouTube channel if you don't know.
getting to play for the full 90 minutes, he went on a 5-match goal-scoring streak, only failing to score in the next because he was on a pitch for only 9 minutes. If you only took in consideration the matches in which he played more than 45 minutes, he would have been on a 9-game goal-scoring streak against the likes of Napoli, Villarreal, and even 2 goals against City rivals Manchester United. In total, the streak lasted for around 3 months, where he averaged a goal every 68 minutes. There's no...
Is the guy talking from Portugal? I start to realize every time you say Roma, Villarreal. Yeah, that's what Portuguese do when they talk. I don't know. I guess his accent sounds a little
something
Portuguese.
like that, and he knew it. So by October, in an act of retaliation, he celebrated by showing a T-shirt.
Why
he was
always
wearing
me?
in
I
his
do
team
remember that.
That read, "Why always me?" As you might imagine, that became quite controversial. The rest of his season wouldn't be as effective, and there would be a fair share of Balotelli moments, including a ban after a tackle on Sagna that would lead Mancini to claim he would not play another game in a Man City jersey and would be sold. But still, This could be considered one of his best seasons, if not his best ever, especially considering Man City would win the Premier League with Balotelli assisting the famous last-minute goal by Agüero that would inspire one of the most insane comebacks football has seen. And being third highest goal scorer for the team, behind Dzeko and Agüero, despite playing much fewer minutes, which would lead him to have the highest goal scoring frequency in the squad. At the end of the day, he had just been a massive help towards Man City's title quest. The next season's start would be stunted by some court hearings demanded by Mario in order to contest some fines imposed on him by the club. But by January, eager to accept his next move, he would accept the fines and take off joining AC Milan, a move that would still be valued at around 20 million euros. Among all of this, he joined Italy for his first international tournament, the Euro 2012, and it was an interesting
It was one of the best ones. It was one of the best ones in that European Cup that we lost 4-0 in the final, against Spain. But yeah, whatever.
His start was pretty bad, being most often remembered for his statements off the pitch. He even threatened that he would kill any fan who dared to throw a banana at him. His poor form was criticized by everyone, and fans demanded that in attack.
People are so disgusting. How can you throw bananas? So fucking racist.
Replaced him permanently, but Italy kept progressing. And in the semi-finals against Germany,
against Germany, unbelievable.
Regardless, and by the 36th minute, he had scored twice, celebrating the goal that would take Italy to the final of the Euros by ripping off his shirt and flexing his muscles as he stood motionless. This celebration was iconic, and it became even more interesting considering that a few weeks
they made so many memes out of that.
Celebrate his goals because his job was to score, and a pizza delivery man doesn't celebrate every time he delivers a pizza. Ironic, isn't it? In the final, the mighty Spain national team of the early 2010s would destroy Italy, and Balotelli would be seen crying as he was unable to cause any impact. Once he left Manchester, Mancini showed that once again there were no hard feelings, claiming that once restored to Italy, Balotelli would become one of the best players in the world, and Jesus Christ was he right. He would debut against Udinese and get a brace, and he just wouldn't stop scoring. By the end of the season, he had played 13 matches for Milan and scored 12 goals, only failing to score in 4 of those matches. He would finish the season without ever seeing defeat while wearing the Rossoneri shirt, and just 4 goals short of making it to the top scorers podium. When he joined AC Milan, were struggling for a spot in Europa League. By the end, his last goal would clutch a spot in the Champions League. The following season he kept on scoring, but not with the same frequency or level of clutchness. But to be honest, he wasn't at fault for that. He still far outweighed any other forward in the team. Robinho would be the second best, though his 5 goals...
Yeah, that's another guy that he was really good, and then I don't know what happened to him.
Nothing compared to Mario.
Kaká, another one.
That season Milan went on 7 awful losing streaks.
So many.
And only 2 wins in 14 matches at one point. By the end of the season, they had only 1 more win than they had defeats. Absolutely tragic for a team like AC Milan. Over the summer, Balotelli would join the Italian national team for the World Cup. But just like in the previous year's Confederations Cup, Italy would not make it past the group stage, and with Conte taking over the squad, Balotelli would not manage to be called up for a tournament ever again, though he would eventually get a few friendly appearances under Mancini. Perhaps the previous season had disappointed Balotelli would once again move, joining Liverpool to try to replace Luis Suarez, which would be a hard task for sure. Well, Balotelli was awful at Liverpool. Awful doesn't even make it justice. It was
I do remember that.
Disgraceful, whatever you want to call it. By Christmas, he still hadn't managed to score a single league goal, but he did manage to get a terrible relationship with his coach, 6 yellow cards, and a ban for posting racist images on social media. During the second half of the season, he would only get to be in the starting 11 3 times and would never play the full 90 again. By the end of the season, Balotelli was easily considered one of the worst signings in Europe, so he was loaned back to Milan. His life back in Italy would start well, but 4 matches in, he would get a groin injury and he would be out for 3 months. Which would be bad on its own, but once he was back, it would be a long time before he was 100% fit, averaging 19 minutes per match in his first 9 matches back. He would only be able to play the full 90 in Serie A again in April of the next year, and by then, The season was almost over and his loan deal was ending. So he was sent back to Liverpool, and by then Jurgen Klopp had taken over and there was zero space for Mario there. And though for a while it seemed he would not find a new home, on the deadline day he would get a move to Nice in France. As he was arriving there, he gave an interview where he said that signing for Liverpool was the biggest mistake of his life, and that both coaches were awful to him. His time at Nice was incredible. I remember hearing about his transfer and thinking it was perfect. That some time away from the spotlight brought upon him by larger teams would be excellent for him, and it really panned out like that. In his first match against Marseille, he would score twice to get the win for Nice. By his 7th match for the club, he had already gotten himself 7 goals. Though as per usual, he also got himself a ton of yellow cards. Well, to be more precise, 8 yellow cards and 2 reds in a space of 10 matches. Yes, you heard that right. The rest of the season would be less impressive, though still pretty good, and by the end, he would be the team's top scorer, getting a goal every 120 minutes, and Nice would qualify to the Champions League qualifying rounds. Still, Balotelli got his fair share of red cards, though it should be noted that he had motives for his emotions to be on edge, considering he had several problems over the season with fans singing racist chants and blurting out monkey noises whenever he touched the ball. The next season, Nice would get through Ajax but then failed to beat Napoli in the playoffs of the Champions League. But once that was done, Balotelli hit some of his best form in his life. Even though Nice were seriously struggling to perform in the league, it was an odd thing to see. Despite Balotelli going on a tear, getting 20 goals in 24 matches, Nice would still manage to go on a 5-match losing streak, which is odd considering that after that they would only lose 1 time in 12 consecutive matches, only to go back to poor form, going on 5 matches without a win. It really just made no sense. They were a seriously inconsistent team, and Balotelli's goal scoring wasn't enough to save them, as they would only finish 8th in the league. The next season, a deal with Marseille fell through and he ended up staying in Nice, but it was awful once again. Missing training sessions, arriving late, fighting with the manager, and by January he hadn't scored a single league goal. And so they just let him leave to Marseille. Instantly, he would score 7 goals in his first 9 matches, despite barely ever playing the full 90. Clearly Balotelli wasn't in bad form, he just didn't want to play for Nice anymore. By the end of the season, it would be easy to assume Balotelli would stay at Marseille. After all, he had been pretty successful so far, and though he did have a few Balotelli moments, they were mostly harmless, like celebrating by posting an Instagram story in the middle of the match. Just, Balotelli things. But then, something happened. Brescia had just been promoted to the Serie A, and they were looking to make an
there's no way!
Sandro Tonali and Alfredo Donnarumma, a former Serie B top scorer,
there's no way!
signing. Tonali was often compared to Pirlo, so perhaps Brescia, being reminded of the times when Pirlo and Baggio performed magic on the pitch for their club, decided to go and ask Balotelli to join. Seems far-fetched at first, but Balotelli also had a sentimental attachment to the club. His dad was a local fan of Brescia, and when Balotelli told his family he could join, the joy in their faces proved to Mario that this was an opportunity he couldn't pass on. He signed the contract, with the condition that he would only renew if they managed to stay in the top tier. But then, the dream turned into a nightmare. Balotelli only managed to win 2 matches for Brescia across the whole season. The racist chants got to a whole new level, and Balotelli must have been going through living hell, even though over that period in time he still managed to score a few goals. And this is how we arrive at the current day, where Balotelli has completed the most shocking of his moves yet, joining Monza, who just got promoted to the 2nd division of Italian football. This might seem unexplainable, but in actuality, the club's president is better.
Wait, but they didn't show when he went to Turkey. Wait, was it last year in Turkey then?
Berlusconi, who was AC Milan president back when Balotelli was there, and having already convinced Kevin Prince Boateng to join, they seem to be trying to build a super squad to take over the Serie A in a couple of years. So far, Monza is 2nd on Serie B, though Balotelli has yet to play the full 90 once and only scored 2 goals. It's hard to assess what's going on there, but maybe this will be the start of Balotelli's final redemption arc. and I know we are all looking forward to
Ah,
seeing
okay.
once again.
So this was
So yeah, that
was in Turkey after months. Okay.
was it. That was Mario Balotelli's career in a video, or well, I guess what happened to him. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. It truly means so much to me. Like, please like the video. Like,
I mean, it's kind of similar to the story of Cassano, who was seen as one of the best. I mean, I don't know if Balotelli was ever seen as like a huge promise, like that guy that would be like the best one of Italy, you know? There's someone that can do really great things. But it was always seen like a good player. He just lacked the mental power to get through it. I mean, it mustn't be easy. It mustn't be easy, like to perform at those level if you don't have like a mental coach to help you, or someone that really believes in you, to follow you in every freaking game or every emotional state that you must feel in that moment to perform. I mean, it must be really difficult, so I don't really want to judge. He's done great things in his career. He always got that. So many people hates him in Italy. They are racist to him, but it's okay. It's his life. He decided to live it that way. If someone, I'm repeating, maybe he didn't believe enough in himself. If he believed enough in himself, he would have got a mental coach. Or if he was luckier, he would have someone to follow him in his career. Mancini tried to do that, but then gave up. So maybe with another coach that really believed in him, it would have been much better his career. But that's how it goes. You never know how things will turn out in life. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want me to check out more football videos, let me know down in the comments who you want me to check out next, and I will do it as soon as possible. See ya!